Okay, we're live now. I want to say hello to my Facebook friends, and this is a public video that I'm doing. It's kind of a long time coming, and what I wanted to share with you all is just my journey when it comes to this whole product creation thing. So I've kind of let you all in on a little bit of what's been going on. I know a lot of you shared the video when I walked into Walgreens and saw a basic duplicate of my product on their shelves, and I was extremely dismayed, I guess, totally. I really was. I was really just extremely disappointed in that. So today I just kind of wanted to clue you in on the behind the scenes of what I've gone through as an independent inventor and creator of a product. And you know, there's a lot in the news about China and how they are kind of copying, taking and stealing trade secrets and that kind of thing. And I can testify to that. It's happened to me. My product is the makeup bullet. You can see across here. Okay. Oh, you know what?
It's back.
It's back. Hey, do this though. I just realized something. Hit Wi-Fi. Hit that. Yep. Yep. And then scroll back up. I have two wonderful interns working with me today. I'm not going to embarrass them and make them come in front of the camera. Do you want to do that? You want to introduce yourself? They're both saying no, so just trust me. They are wonderful young ladies, Iman and Lydia. But here's, I wanted to give a little bit of time for some of you to come online. But it is really frustrating when you put your heart and soul into creating a product only for some other company to come along that has more money, and they know they have more money, and they know you're a small business and that you won't necessarily be able to compete with them. So part of the game is they either, you know, they can outright violate your patent and just tie you up legally until it expires, because they know that you're not going to have the wherewithal or the resources necessarily to fight it. So the purpose of this video and me sharing my story is twofold. I, one, want to give more exposure. So for those of you who don't know about the makeup bullet, this is the product that I created, and this is the original packaging. So it comes in either a single or a 3-pack. And this is the second packaging iteration that we went through. So this is the single and this is the 3-pack. Now this was created for Dillard's originally, because I had a new opportunity, and they were my first department store in the United States to accept the product and to bring it onto their shelves. So this, you might see this packaging some places on Dillards.com, on Amazon. This is there, and a lot of stores, and even online too, and Amazon, they have this product. This is the way the package looks, okay? So this was just one of those things that you do because they say, hey, we didn't want the hang tab. We don't do that in our stores. So you have to do what you need to do to get on those shelves that you want to get on. So sometimes packaging changes are necessary. And of course that costs thousands of dollars. You got a new design, you got to do package engineering, you have to do all new printing and new fulfillment, putting the product in new packaging, and all of that is another investment layer. So here's a few things that I wanted to share with you. I'm kind of skipping ahead that you actually know why I created the makeup bullet. I have been doing makeup, let's see, today is June 19th. This one we're shooting this video, June 19th of 2018. I have been a professional makeup artist. September 1st of this year will be 25 years to the day of when I started my first job as a makeup artist here in the Atlanta area. And I've primarily worked in television and television news for the most part, and I still do some TV news. I still go into the stations on occasion and paint people that are going on TV nationally. But I was working at one of our local stations here in Atlanta, and I found, if you could see like all that I have spread out to show you all, even during this video, you'd understand. I mean, you could see some of this. Okay, so I had my makeup. Imagine this is makeup, and I had it just spread out, and I'm trying to do somebody's face, and I can't find what I'm looking for. It's just like, okay, where did I set this? Where did I set that? And I found that the thing I was looking for the most was my blending tool. So a lot of the traditional sponges, they kind of look either, you have the rounds. Lots of times those will come in, say you're compact and you'll have the traditional round, or the wedges, the little triangle shaped wedges. So I used to use those a lot. That's kind of like an industry standard, at least used to be. The little wedges, you just break them apart, or they come in a big bag, the white ones. And I was looking for my blending tool and I couldn't find it. And I was getting a little nervous because I'm like, this person has to get to set, we're on a time deadline, and they're looking at me like, okay, what are you doing? And the thought popped in my head like, oh my God, I just wish the thing would stay stuck to my finger. Then that'd be one less thing I was looking for. And I said, let me put a pin in that, because what if, is there anything like that on the market? And there wasn't. So it was a few years actually before I built up enough confidence that I said, I think I could launch something like that and put it on the market. I think I could do that. It seemed like it would cost a lot of money, which it does, but I saved, is what I ended up doing. All those years that I was kind of building up my confidence, I was actually saving money. So I was saving my money and, still, had it in the back of my mind, like, I would love to create a product that fits on your finger, a cosmetic sponge. Like, that would be amazing. So I fast forwarded to a few years, and I was about, by the time I launched it to market, I think I might have been like, well, I'm not going to tell my age right here, but I was older. It was about 7 to 10 years before I actually started on that journey of creating this product. And from February of 2012, when I first started researching exactly how to do it for real, till December was when I had my very first prototype in my hand of the makeup bullet. And I went through so many, what I did is I knew it was going to be made of foam. So I ordered foam. I said, where do you get, foam? So I started calling manufacturers. And I said, can you send me samples, just raw samples of foam, not cut, nothing. And I just cut out, sculptures and used my little Dremel tool and my little saws, and I presented that to a manufacturer. And I said, hey, can you make this? And a lot of them told me, no, we don't work with small businesses. And, okay, thank you. I move on to the next. And I found a manufacturer, and I wanted to manufacture in the US because I wanted to be able to visit them. I wanted to be able to have that control over the product and the quality of the product. From that first foam manufacturer, I called a lot of other foam manufacturers just because I wanted to see what was on the market, what types of foam, what was it going to be made of, what would it feel like, what's the texture, because that was super important to me. There was a certain density that I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be too hard or too stiff, and I wanted it to be soft and pliable, something that would feel good against the skin. So I knew that some of the foams that I had experienced from overseas, from China, were a little more stiff and dense, and I didn't want that. I wanted something that, for one, could be used dry. And that was one of the main qualities. I created this sponge for dry use. It was not meant to be moistened. And that is, for one, it's convenient because you're not trying to find some water to put on it and to, wring it out and all that. And for two, for me, it conserves water, for one. A lot of municipalities are in a water crisis. A lot of countries are in a water crisis. A lot of cities, even throughout the United States, clean drinking water and that kind of thing. So that became a cause for me as well, as far as just being water conservation and being conscious of that. But anyway, so the makeup bullet was born, and the first show that I took it to was in May of 2013. So May 2013, I took it to the makeup show in New York City. And at first it was triples. This was the packaging. It came 3 to a box because I was dealing with professionals just like me. So I know you need more than one for your kids. So we did the box of 3. And of course they're washable, they're reusable, hypoallergenic, and latex free. And there was so much thought and consideration that went into the functionality and what this product needed to be for other industry professionals and just in general for women on the go just like me who wanted a product that was going to be durable, that was going to be soft, that was going to be convenient, pop on your finger, do your makeup, and then voila, okay? So that's how the product came to be. So from there, I wanted organic growth. I just wanted something to where I could fail small, so to speak. I didn't want to jump in with a huge $100 and some thousand loan and then end up spending the money incorrectly on things that I really did need since it was a new industry. And I'm telling you, once you start to launch and you put your product or your service online, you know, people will come to you. And sometimes they'll come to you with opportunities that sound good. But if it's in a space that you're just not quite familiar with, it's almost like you're so happy that you have the attention and your product has the attention, you're jumping on every single opportunity, which is not necessarily the best. So I knew I wanted to just kind of, you know, I was pinching pennies, so I didn't take every opportunity that came my way. Then I got retailers, small retailers, independent retailers, just one store here, beauty boutiques, real specialty stores that carried products like mine. So I've talked a little bit about basic sponges that were on the market. Now there was a sponge and is a sponge that a lot of you are familiar with that was created by a makeup artist named Rayanne Silva called Beauty Blender. And Beauty Blender is a pink egg-shaped sponge. Now this is not a beauty blender. Although it looks sort of like it, if you got it in your hand, you'd be able to tell this is a dupe. And I'm going to talk about what happens with these China companies because they will copy your stuff and they have no regard for patent, copyright, anything. You know, they just want to, as one friend said, copy it right, and that's about it. But it's kind of sort of like this. So if you've seen them on the market, it is a pink egg-shaped sponge, and that is kind of the industry leader when it comes to premium sponges right now. And so some people were familiar with Beauty Blender, and then they came out with other colors and that kind of thing. But me, my thing was, my issue was losing track of things, dropping things, and I just wanted that convenience. So even when I have this on my finger, I can still multitask, so it's not dominating my hand, so I can pick other things up if this was a makeup brush, and then or eyeliner or mascara, and then I still have this to go in for touch-up. So my thing was, I wanted to create something that didn't exist. I wanted to create something that wasn't on the market and that fulfilled a need that I had and solved a problem, and that's what the Makeup Bullet did for me. About, I would say, 2.5 years ago, I'm going to try to stay on target with what I wanted to share with you all when it comes to how it got to be, you know, just dealing with the infringement and everything. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background on the product and what was happening. So about 2.5 years ago, I regularly do searches online just to see who's talking about the product. You know, I have, you know, alerts come up from Google, and I have lots of searches going on, so I'll get emails as to who's talking about my product, where it's been, what blogs it's been reviewed on, that kind of thing. And I got an alert, and I, you know, clicked the link, and it was like an Alibaba, and that is kind of the Thomas Net. If you're familiar, you can find manufacturers in the U.S. that manufacture anything, and that's how I found my phone manufacturer and converter and things like that. So if you are trying to create a product and you're looking for a manufacturer, that's a great resource. It's thomasnet.com, okay, Thomasnet. So anyway, Alibaba is kind of the Thomasnet of China, and any manufacturer you can find, you know, they just make everything, copy everything, whatever. And you kind of got to watch those places because my patents had already been approved. I have 2 patents and 2 trademarks. So my patent for this design had already been approved. And I was looking online, and this company in China was advertising that they made you know, this makeup bullet sponge. And I'm like, and to add insult to injury, they used pictures of my product that I personally took with my own cell phone. So they had my pictures saying, you got it? You good? So they had my pictures saying they made my product. So what I did was I said, okay, how do I, because they're in China, I can tell Alibaba to take it down. I can send them, you know, the patent, the copy and everything. So what I did was I reached out and I asked for them to send me samples. Because one thing that I knew, okay, my makeup bullet retails for about $15 for a single, and then the triple box retails for about $25. So everybody's not going to pay premium for premium, but you do get what you pay for, of course. But I said, you know, there's two things that I would like to do with my product down the road, because I do want it to be a staple in everybody's makeup kit. I want it to be the product that people, you know, you're reaching, you got your makeup sponge, you're popping it on your finger. Like, that's just the thing that you end up doing. So I said I either want to license it, or I want to produce like a second tier, like a dupe. I want to dupe myself. Before some other company can do it, I want to go ahead and dupe myself. And right now, some of my retailers, they carry both the makeup bullet and what I ended up calling Pretty Stick. And it has a very generic kind of packaging. It says right here, and Pretty Stick is my trademark that is trademarked and registered and everything. So this is Pretty Stick Finger Sponge Beauty Tool. And it's just an alternative. It sells for about half the price of the makeup bullet, and different retailers have it too. And it comes in 4 colors, because people love color. So it comes in purple, pink, blue, and orange. So this is what Pretty Stick looks like. Because what happened is when I reached out to that manufacturer in China, this is what they sent me. This is what they made. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's not the makeup bullet, because it's that China foam, which is definitely denser and stiffer, and, you know, it's soft, but it's just not what I wanted. I wanted nice open pores that would accept and deposit product. Like, that's what I needed. So this, you definitely have to wet it in order for it to accept product when it comes to your foundations or your creams. And you can use it for powder, but it just doesn't have the same texture. So, you know, there's a huge difference with the performance. But $15, $7. But they sent me some samples, and I told them, look, you need to take this off of the website, but I will buy it from you, because I was looking for a second tier product. I was looking for a dupe, and I already had the name, got some new packaging done, and I had retailers that were like, hey, we'll buy this because that's more our price range. That's more, you know, our customer. Excuse me, give me a sec. Yes, okay. Just needed to wet the throat a bit. Okay, so that's how Pretty Stick came to be. And like I said, I have retailers who do both. And that particular China factory, you know, we have one of those relationships where it's just like, yeah, they say they're not going to sell it to anyone else, but, you know, I know they probably, you know, do. Because here's what they do also. When they send me my shipment, then they'll send me all these other samples. Oh, do you want to buy this too? We can make this. So they send me this. Hey, we make this. You know, you can buy the pink egg. I'm like, no, because I respect that someone else created that product. That's her intellectual property. She created it out of a need that she had, and she solved the problem she wanted to solve. So that, to me, I mean, it's so, but that's just kind of how that happens. Then there's this is a Real Technique sponge, and you all probably have seen these. And this is actually one of the sponges that sells in different beauty retailers, and it's kind of a lower price, but it's a branded product, Real Techniques, and it's made in China. But what they do is they'll say, hey, they'll send me this kind of thing, and they'll say, hey, you can buy this too. And it's a knockoff, a dupe of a Real Technique sponge. So they'll send me what I ordered, but then at the same time, they're sending me fake products. So when it comes to that, I know that that's happened with some of the retailers, and some of the manufacturers here in the US, because what started to happen right after I saw that crop up, I said, oh God, goodness, here they come. So then other China factories started manufacturing fake makeup bullets. And you know, as an inventor, it's like, you know what's happening. So for me, you know it's gonna come. This was my making lemonade out of lemons product, because it's like, okay, you already have the tooling done. Okay, I'll just buy that. So that's kind of the background on my second tier product. But then what started to happen is, instead of necessarily coming to the creator of the product, who is me, other companies, larger companies, and you go, oh, well, maybe they didn't know. That's, you know, you give them that grace, like, well, perhaps they didn't know, because I'm a small company. Not everybody knows about the makeup bullet. Perhaps they didn't know. So I was first alerted to a couple of companies. One was by a makeup artist. She reached out to me, a makeup artist I met at a beauty show in Arizona, and she loves the makeup bullet. She posts about it all the time. And she sent me a picture. She was in Forever 21. And she sent me a picture. She said, Eva, do you know there's on your sponge here? And is this, you know, authorized? Do they, you know? And I'm like, no. So this is the sponge, and it comes in this little package. It's in the kind of grab and go as you're going through the checkout, and they call it mini makeup sponge. It's just real generic, made in China, and this is what it looks like. Hole in the bottom, put it on a finger. Look at that. All right? Come on now, patent infringement or not. This shape is, it's the makeup bullet. I mean, basically. So you go, wow. So I, you know, reach out to my patent attorney. I say, let's send them a little notice and let them know what they're doing. And sent them the cease and desist letter, you know, drafted that. And this is what I got back from Forever 21, okay? Their attorneys. And they're saying that, please note this item was purchased from our vendor, who indicates that they independently came up with the design of their product. Oh, okay. In any event, based on our review of the product design, advertisements, product reviews, and functionality and purpose of the makeup bullet and finger sponge, it appears that the design of the product is the most versatile makeup sponge and designed to make it easy for the consumer to apply makeup on the face. As law related to design patents, including Sport Dimension versus Coleman, it is our understanding and belief that there is no infringement, as arguably the design of your client's product is dictated by the function. Essentially, the cylindrical body and central hole is dictated by the function of placement onto the tip of the consumer's finger. They talk about all this. Our research shows that the pointed tip is a vastly utilized design in prior art and literature, competing products, and is indeed an industry standard design for that type of sponge. Let's see, finger painting, dental devices, the design patent for ornamental. So basically they're saying your patent should not have been, and that was the other thing, I had printed it out. I wanted to show you a copy of my patent. And I showed, you know what, I showed a copy of the patent. I'm going to tag the Walgreens, when I went to Walgreens, I was showing everybody my patent. I'm going to tag that in the body of this. So if you want to see when I walked into Walgreens just live, just like, oh God, I hope I don't find something that looks like my product, I show my patent there so you can see that. But basically, they go into a Sport Dimension, some random something about a lifeguard vest, and that's their part of their argument as to why they said that you shouldn't have even gotten a patent. Well, I got a patent, so. And if you all, I can't even see any questions or anything, but if you all have any questions, and please feel free to, you know, chime anybody in that you think could benefit from learning a little bit about this. And then my other thing is, I'm going to need a pro bono attorney. So if you know someone who would be willing to take on the case, I've been advised by some attorneys that it definitely has merit, and especially this is definitely in violation. I mean, definitely in violation. So then somebody sent me a product that they saw on Sephora's website. Let me know about that. And they call this the Sephora, it's a part of the Sephora collection, the Pointer blending sponges. So I went ahead and I, ordered the Pointer, and the Pointer comes in pink and purple. And taking this out of the boxes, this is the Pointer, okay? They've got the pointed tip and the round pull. If you can see that, the pointed tip. Look a lot like Pretty Stick, a little bit shorter, a little smaller, but you wet it. You have to wet these sponges because they just, really don't work very well otherwise. So best used wet. They do say that best used wet. That's because it's this tight, super tight, dense foam that doesn't accept product very well. So you definitely have to wet these. If you felt this thing, they feel like erasers. They kind of feel a lot like kind of an eraser quality. But same type of thing, fits on a finger. Here's a makeup bullet. So this is what Sephora is calling the Pointer. So what do you think? The design, not the color. I can make the makeup bullet in whatever color I want. I just chose black. So what do you think? Patent infringement or not? Because no, there were no finger blending pointed sponges that were wonderfully dimensional and use all sides. This was not on the market. But yet, let me see, when my attorney sent Sephora a cease and desist, let's see, what did Sephora say? Sephora actually just kicked me over to the company that supplies their sponges to them. Let's see. I represent Orchard International Inc., who supplies the finger sponge to Sephora. Yeah. As a supplier of the product to Sephora, Orchard will address all claims related to the product, and I request that any future communications be sent only to me. So he didn't want anybody messing up his little deal. I have reviewed your letter, and in my opinion, if my client's finger sponge, let's see, in my opinion, I think this is a typo, my client's finger sponge with less than completely pointed tip, okay, and rounded interior opening inside the tip infringes, if it infringes on my patent D703390, that's mine, then that patent is clearly invalid as anticipated by, or if not anticipated by, certain obvious over figure 1 of the long expired patent, this other patent, and I'll show you what this patent looks like. I also note that Ms. Bunkley never brought any prior art to the attention of the PTO during the prosecution of her patent. Of course, the 365 patent was known to her then. If that was known, then there is clearly an issue of unenforceability. My client intends to continue to sell the finger sponge it has on the market, except that it had already made, prior to the receipt of your letter, a minor change to the tip to make it even more rounded than the present version on the market. I request that you withdraw your charge of infringement. Sincerely, the attorney. Okay, so they sent a very small picture of, okay, so this is the picture. It's totally incomplete and really doesn't tell what this thing is. And dental and mouth cleansing means, and it's a bullet shape, something that has like a bottom and something that goes in, but it doesn't really say how this thing is put together. But what he's saying is your patent should not have been granted. Your patent shouldn't have been granted, and therefore we can't be infringing, but my patent was granted. So there's that. So that was the gentleman who replied on the behalf of Sephora about their pointers. And then he said, oh, and we rounded out the tip anyway. before we put this one on the market. So is that saying to make it much different from mine, they rounded it already, knowing that we'll try to skirt around yours? Perhaps, perhaps not. I don't know. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you is the one that a lot of you saw me go into Walgreens and see, and I didn't open it then. I just kind of grabbed a package, but this is what it looks like. They call this the Walgreens over the finger blending sponge. That's what they call it. So you see this one, that's kind of the light color, and then they got this one that's the black color. And then you look here and it has the hole in the bottom. And this is what this looks like, showing the other camera. And I'm going to take these out. So I'm just going to, see, here's what happens. Is they know that there's something on the market. So what they do is they try to like work their way around your patent by making minor changes. So they know your product is there. And part of my argument with Walgreens was, why not uplift and partner with a woman-owned minority small business and, help me to innovate, help me to come out with some great products? Why get this stiff stuff from China that really isn't serving anyone as well as it could if we were to like actually, just take some thought and do something that was that's actually, a well thought out product, not just try to compete and put something out there. And of course you're going to have, wide distribution because you have a quadrillion stores. So here's what they did. This thing, it's like a carved pencil. I don't even know what you would do with this. This serves no purpose. And then what they did on both of these is they made a hexagonal hole. All right, so we got a 6-sided hole in the bottom. Like, wouldn't it just be easier to make a round hole? Of course it would. That's what the makeup bullet has, a nice round hole. But because we're trying to make it a little different from what's already on the market, so we don't have to deal with the small business, we're just gonna make it a hexagonal hole. And this, I'm just gonna put this to the side. Now this thing right here. All right, so this is the makeup bullet. And this is, can you tell which one is which? Because they're so similar. So this is the makeup bullet, and this is Walgreens' version of their over-the-finger blending sponge. And of course the makeup bullet has the hole that's a circle, and they've got this hexagon. So now, here's the other thing that they did, and I don't know if you can quite see this, and to me that's kind of the point. It's so subtle that it's just kind of deliberately doing just a little something different to get around. So you've got this kind of blunt side that's just kind of like they sliced off one side of a makeup bullet, and you've got this one little flat side. But you turn it around all the other way, and if it's in the package just like this, and it says over the finger, you're not going to know that it has much difference from the makeup bullet. You're just going to see, ooh, I can get 2 of these over the finger blending sponges for like $4 or whatever. Okay, so that's the comparison of the 2 sponges, okay? So I sent them a cease and desist, just like, hey, I'm out here, maybe you want to partner with me. And actually I reached out to somebody who worked at their company and they referred me over. So this was, I just have this printed out. This was the Walgreens response. I hope this email finds you well. We're in receipt of the letter you sent. As we take these inquiries very seriously, this matter has been referred to me for careful review in response. In your message, you stated that Walgreens is carrying a product that is in direct violation to your client's patent. Walgreens respects the intellectual property rights of third parties and understands your client's desire to protect her patent. But, big but, we are confident that the over-the-finger blending sponges sold by Walgreens do not infringe upon the design patent. As you know, a design patent protects only the appearance of the product and not the structural or functional features. So that means that we can change it a little, just a little, and get around her. That's what they're saying. In contrast, a utility patent, so they're educating us as to the difference, which is like, of course we know this, protects the way the article is used and functions. As your client-cited patent is a design patent, it only covers the way the product looks. From a review of your client's patent, the claimed sponge is a bullet-shaped and rounded symmetrical surface that tapers towards the top, forming a point. The bottom hole is circular, as seen in figure 4 of the attached drawing. As shown in the cross-section elevation, yada yada. In contrast, the design elements of the over-the-finger, where is it? See, it's blending in. The over-the-finger blending sponge sold by Walgreens are visually and significantly different from that of your client's design patent. Please find the photographs and formal drawings of the blending sponges attached. The black sponge has a flattened, indented surface at the top end for makeup application and a pentagon. It's not a pentagon. Pentagon has 5 sides. He was mistaken. This is a hexagon. It has 6 sides. But anyway, a pentagon. And I wouldn't want a pentagon shaped, but anyway, that's just another hole at the bottom. This pentagon shape extends through the interior of the sponge in contrast to your client's patent. Further, the black sponge has a more rounded appearance at the top end when compared to the more tapered appearance of your client's patented design. The pink sponge has 6 flattened surfaces extending from the top. Like the black sponge, it has a pentagon. Yeah, he says 6, then it goes back to the pentagon. Okay, in our opinion, both the pink and black sponges have significant visual differences from the features of your client's patent. As such, we are confident that they do not infringe upon your client's design patent. We trust that this detailed explanation addresses your concerns and will conclude this matter. But please, feel free to reach out to me directly. Again, talk to me, not them, with any questions. So they sent pictures of their sponges, and then they sent a picture of them holding their hexagon-shaped sponge. Okay? So that's what Walgreens said. So I've got 3 companies responding so far with this is why we feel that we're justified in having our products on the market that have nothing to do with your product, your product was not in the minds and hearts of anybody doing this. And I beg to differ. So here's the makeup bullet again. Here is Forever 21 sponge, okay? Just circular shape. It's been smushed, but it's a circle shape. Okay, there's Forever 21 sponge. I'm going to stick the makeup bullet on my ring finger because that's what I suggest. You use your ring or your middle finger, okay? Because these have the lightest touch, okay? So there's the makeup bullet. Here's, okay, that's Sephora's. This is Forever 21 sponge. Here are Sephora's little sponges. I'm going to stick those there and there. There's their sponges. And then I'm just not even addressing this, because that's just a mess. Here's Walgreens sponge. So I'm just going to stick that there. So we've got the makeup bullet and all of these imitators, okay? So now there was actually another infringement case that I have, and this is what this sponge looks like. This, somebody sent me, it was sold in TJ Maxx. So I found that actually it was sold in TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and they call this the this is by Beauty Somebody's, and made in China by Enchante Accessories Inc., based in New York City. So I've sent them a cease and desist. They didn't reply. We sent them another follow-up letter, so we're waiting to hear back from them. So basically, I just wanted to share everything, just lay it blah, all on the table. I haven't said anything untrue. I'm not defaming anyone, I'm stating the facts. I put out the makeup bullet onto the market, which is this wonderful American-made, 100% manufactured, premium, latex-free, hypoallergenic cosmetic finger sponge. Fits snug on a finger, blends beautifully, no need to wet this tool. It will accept and deposit product, liquids, creams, powders beautifully. It reaches all parts of the face and leaves you hands-free. But then, hey, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I do not agree. I think it's just wrong when you just totally take someone's idea, make it your own in a way where if you could uplift them and help them with their product, especially if you're a super large company and it's a small business, really, you know, trying to build my brand. It's been on the market 5 years now. Beginning of May 5th, May 6th, 5th or 6th. Gotta get that in my head. Celebrated the product being on the market for 5 years this year. So still building, still gaining market, and still wanting to grow, and still looking to partner with larger brands and distributors all over the world. So I ask that you all just say a prayer for me. If nothing else, you know, share this video. If you know a pro bono attorney, there are programs in certain states, even through universities. Georgia doesn't have it through their university system. And I'm waiting. That's okay. Just let it. We're done almost. But I have taken the online course that you qualify for in order to have maybe a pro bono attorney take your case, because I know that I have some leeway, some case. When you look at these products that other companies have put on the market, directly trying to compete with what I've come up with, then, you know, there's no question. So I'm, just really putting it out there for you all. What do you think? Do you think that any of those or all of those or some of those products are in violation of my patent? Do you think that, what do you think? I would love to know. I would love for you to share this, and I would love for you to continue to follow my journey. I will try to share as things happen. But really, I've kind of just gotten to the point where I'm like, I just can't stay silent about it anymore, because that's not getting me anywhere. But if nothing else, hey, the Makeup Bullet is on the market. It's available for purchase on a number of retailers and websites. You can go to themakeupbullet.com. You can go to Dillard's stores. You can go to Ulta Beauty online, their .com right now. And, I'll keep you posted as to other retailers that come on board. Namies on the West Coast, Alcone. There's so many retailers. So yeah, just, continue to, if you search it, you'll find it, definitely. And you want the real one because it's a premium product, I guarantee you. Blessings. Bye-bye.